good day, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you once again to another live session coming to you live and direct from C&T Tutors at Bekiti. Adedayo is my name, and I'll be your anchor for tonight. This evening, we shall be taking a look at a particular topic under Christian Religious Studies, CRS. And the topic is what I call the first and second creation story. The first and second creation story. Now, taking a look at the book of Genesis chapter 1, we can all see the attributes, the characteristics that were ascribed to the earth at the beginning of the world. The Bible made us understand that the earth was actually without form. The earth was without form and it was void. Without form, it was void. Then attribute number 3, the Bible made us understand that darkness covered the face of the deep. And one more attribute was also ascribed to the earth. We're told that the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. So these were the attributes of the earth at the beginning of the world, before God actually kickstarted his creation activities. To cut the story short, I'll just give us a list of the various things that were created on each of the days that were involved in the creation. So on day 1, we're told that God created lights. God commanded, said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God discovered that the light was good, and He divided the light from the darkness. He called the light day, and He called the darkness night, and that summed up the first day. Then the second day, the Lord proceeded to create a firmament. The Lord proceeded to create a firmament. Now, this firmament was to serve a particular purpose, to separate the waters that were under the firmament from the ones that were above the firmament. So the firmament was created by God on the second day. And then on the third day, God proceeded to create the earth, or let me just say dry ground. God created dry land, but we're still referring to the earth as well. Dry land as well as the sea. He said, "Let there be a gathering together of the waters that are below the firmament, and let dry ground appear." So the Bible said, God called the dry land earth, and He called the gathering together of the water sea, and that summed up the third day. Then on the fourth day, God realized the need to illuminate the firmament, to illuminate the earth rather, and He decided to create what we call the heavenly bodies. He proceeded to create the heavenly bodies, the sun, the moon, and the stars. And He made a remark after creating these heavenly bodies. He said, "Let them be for signs, let them be for seasons, let them be for days, and let them be for years." So a typical examination question may come in this form: which of the following was not the attribute of the heavenly bodies as at the time they were created by God? A, to be for signs; B, to be for wonders; C, to be for seasons; and D, to be for days. So the odd one out there is the second option, which says to be for wonders, because that was not part of the attributes that God ascribed to the heavenly bodies upon their creation. So the heavenly bodies, in essence, were created on the fourth day. And God actually made 2 lights. The greater light was the sun, which was meant to rule over the day, and which is still ruling over the day till now. And then we have the lesser light, and God ordained the lesser light, which is the moon, to rule over the affairs of the night in conjunction with the stars. And then on the 5th day, God proceeded to create sea creatures, the sea and winged creatures. When we talk about sea creatures, we refer to the likes of the fishes, the crocodiles, the turtles, the oysters, and so on and so forth. And when we talk about winged creatures, we are simply talking about all manners of birds: pelican, eagle, falcons, most of them like that. So the animals that had wings, that could fly with wings, they were all created together with sea animals on the 5th day. Then on the 6th day, God proceeded to create land animals, and man. And of course, God rested on the 7th day. And that sums up the first creation story. Then we also have another aspect of creation which we call the second creation story. Don't forget, we're told that God created man from the dust of the earth and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and that was how man automatically became a living soul. Thereafter, God realized the need for companionship on the part of the man, and in order to achieve this goal, he allowed this man called Adam. Don't forget, the name was Adam. He made Adam slumber. So Adam slumbered and slept, and in the course of the sleep, God actually took a part of his womb and formed a woman. And upon bringing her to Adam, Adam remarked and said, "This is now the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because he was taken out of man." Then now the major thing we need to know under the second creation story is the fact that God created a particular river to water the Garden of Eden. Don't forget that the Garden of Eden was created by God to actually cater for the needs of Adam and Eve. They were given a special instruction not to eat from two particular trees in the midst of the garden: the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, as well as the tree of eternal life. Meanwhile, they were free to eat from any other available tree. So now a river was created to water this particular garden, and the river got divided into 4 different bands. It's a very common question in most general examinations. Talk of JAM, talk of WAEC, and so on. So we need to know the names of the 4 rivers. The first river was called the River Pishon. Then the second river was called River Gihon. We also have the third one called River Tigris. And in most examination questions, I've come across them deliberately omitting Tigris from the option, and they decide to use another name. What am I saying in essence? River Tigris goes by another name, which is River Iddekel. So an alternative name for this River Tigris is River Iddekel. Then the last but not the least is River Euphrates. So these were the 4 rivers these were the 4 divisions of that major river that God created to water the Garden of Eden. Then one more thing, we also need to take note of the fact that during the second creation story, God brought the animals that he had created. He brought them to Adam for the purpose of allocating appropriate names unto them. So Adam was the one that gave names to all animals that we have today. So the names were allocated to them by Adam as instructed by God. This is the end of this particular session. Thank you very much for your time. See you later.